Hey Jana. Hey guys. You can always tell when it's super humid here by how fluffy my hair is. Let me see if I can move this just a little closer. Or actually, I'll be right back. Good morning. I'm going to shut this door so I don't wake my husband up. Okay, so, good morning. Hey, Michelle. Let me move this just around. Sorry, guys, I'm going to move you around a little bit. Good morning, Nina. Good morning, Letitia from Long Island, right? I am doing well. I'm doing well. I woke up early and made myself go ahead and get up. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to get up earlier in the morning again because working from home, I tend to just stay up later and later and sleep later and later. And then that makes me feel a little bit disorganized. So I'm trying to get back to at least getting up by 7. Yeah. So my sleep schedule's been messed up for a while, and I'm starting to really notice it. So trying to get back early again. Yeah, the other day I slept till like 11 o'clock. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I can't sleep till 11. I don't feel like anything gets done. And then I feel off center the rest of the day. So, today's reading is one of those where, I read it and I read what was in the Holy Shift book and then looked it up in the text and was like, what the hell are they talking about? So it's been I've actually been working with it for a while now, since earlier today, to try and figure out how to make it practical. Yeah. So, and you'll see. So, for September 20th, the easy part to understand is oops, I just moved my page. There is no miracle you cannot have when you desire healing. But there is no miracle. Hi, Amy. Oh, doulas are cool. There is no miracle you cannot have when you desire healing, but there is no miracle that can be given you unless you want it. So that is the thing about we have to ask for it. And this comes from chapter 30 in the text of A Course in Miracles. Section 8. So the chapters are each sectioned. So chapter 30, section 8, verse 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, doulas are awesome. So it's a pretty long section. And I read it and read it again. And it's just difficult to understand, but the bottom line is this. Let me read to you the section it comes from. Reality is changeless. Miracles but show what you have interposed between reality and your awareness is unreal. So if you go with the concept in A Course in Miracles that says a miracle is just a change in perception, when you change your perception of what you think you see and what you actually see is when miracles occur, because you see the world as it truly is, and that truly is a place of love, not fear. So when you're able to set your fear aside and see the world through the lens of wholeness and love, that creates a miracle, because you've changed your entire perception and then you're seeing the truth of what's out there. The cost of the belief that there must be some appearances beyond the hope of change is why the miracle cannot come forth from you consistently. So we believe that there are things that cannot be changed. That's a false belief. We get stuck in a place of, well, it is what it is. Sometimes it is what it is a very catchy saying that really does apply to the moment. But most of the time, not. There's no miracle you cannot have when you desire healing. But there's no miracle that can be given to you unless you want it. And by want it, we mean asking. So, change your mindset changes your energy. So the energy won't change until your mindset changes. Until you're willing to allow for the possibility that there's a different way to see things than how you see them now, it won't change. Nothing will shift. And total acceptance, that's the tricky part of all this. You have to totally accept what you're feeling and give that room and give your emotions witness and allow them to be. At the same time, you're asking that your perception be open to a wider view. So if you block any of those points in the process, you get stuck and you feel stuck. So, I know, right? I've had 2 cups of coffee and I've gone over this section over and over. So, let's just use a really practical example, and that is, it is what it is can be used as an excuse not to see it differently. Very well said. Very well said. I knew you guys could help me with this. If we just say, it is what it is, so there's nothing I can do about it, then we just stay stuck in that victim mentality. We stay stuck in a place of powerlessness if we use that saying or any other saying as a reason to not reach for more and to not challenge ourselves to see the world from that place of love. Because we know that to make those shifts is a challenge, personally a challenge. It can be really difficult. So say sitting in traffic is a pretty good example of a lot of these things. You have that choice to see sitting in traffic as a total disaster. You're late for a meeting, traffic bogs down, and you've seen people do this, like literally hammering on their steering wheels, right? Where they're just like screaming. You can see them alone in their car, caught in their own personal self-created hell, banging on their steering wheel, flipping people off, yelling at the top of their lungs. You can react that way. And you can say, well, it's the traffic, it is what it is, so I can just be a bitch about it and get angry, and that's okay. Yeah, I saw it just the other day. I saw a woman honk at the woman in front of her. Oh, good. Glad you're back. And literally like hammering on her steering wheel. Okay, that was her choice. In that moment, she's seeing the world through a place of fear and aggression and hate. Her aggression is she wanted that woman to move, and it actually wasn't safe for that woman to move. It was in a place of construction in Buford, Georgia. I have to go through there to get to Loganville. It really wasn't safe for that woman to dart out in traffic, but the woman behind her was being super aggressive about it. So, the aggressive woman had a choice to say, I'd like to see this differently. Yeah, you can choose not to fight with reality by catching yourself. Taking a deep breath. Acknowledge that you're in a place of rage. Acknowledge that you're in a place of being off-centered and feeling victimized by the world around you. The miracle comes in that moment when you catch yourself and you say, okay, I'm off-center. Help me see this differently? How can I see this differently? And you take your deep breaths and you let your rage calm. You don't judge yourself for being out of control. It happens to the best of us. We get out of control. We get so focused on something out there that we get off center. So you just catch yourself, you breathe. The miracle happens as this shift turns from aggressively pushing the person in front of you There are often flowers by the road. I never saw them until I let go of the frustration of slow traffic. Yeah, there's tons of wildflowers. There's little, you'll see a lot of times stuck in traffic in Fort Collins in certain areas. You could look down to the river and see deer that you wouldn't have seen if you hadn't been stuck in traffic. So the miracle is that shift in perception, and it can only happen when you want it. It can only happen when you catch yourself and say, whoa, 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 hold on. Wow, I'm out of control. You take your breaths. You don't judge yourself. You say, oh my gosh, wow, okay, let me back up a step and start over. And in that case, the woman could mentally apologize to the woman that she was pushing. You know, she could say, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. She can't say that to the woman directly, but she can say it in herself to forgive herself for being so aggressive, if she needed that. Not everybody needs that. In that moment, your perception shifts from being a victim of your circumstances to having the power to take control of your love. Modeling for my kids at this moment is perfect as it is. Yeah. And when you lose sight of that and you turn, you take your breaths, that's the miracle. You've taken back your power. You've acknowledged that you're the only one that has control over how you feel. And that is the miracle. And from that shift is where everything else can open up. It's hard sometimes, but it gets easier with practice. It absolutely gets easier with practice. Daily practice, daily catching yourself is what makes these things become second nature, which brings me to my second point for today. And you guys can read this if you want. If you want to blow your mind and like get all confused. I get it, but it took a while to get this part this morning. Reality is changeless, and the miracle's already there. Yeah, you're not a victim. You're not a victim. None of us are. Not everyone is on the same path. That's what I've learned how to deal and understand with others. Yes. They're crossing your path generally for some reason, but we're not all at the same place of understanding. And we're also not all at the same point of wanting to implement this stuff. So we go through stages. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. But the reality of the world of love, of source, of spirit is always there. It's the only constant. Our perception that it changes happens here. We can't see clearly unless we have that intention and we make the choice. So the miracle can't come to us until we make the choice that we want to see reality as reality is. It's helped me be more compassionate toward others. Absolutely. If you can look at other people as they're doing their thing, they're on their path, you're on your path. Sometimes you butt heads. It's easy to forgive and go on. It's easy to let things go. It's easy to not attach to a situation and tell a big involved story about it and get yourself all messed up in your head. The miracle allows you to come back to the place of love and see the truth. Is that what you just said? We're all just bumping around here together, and you don't need to defend your position. Yes, trying to defend your position is exhausting. It doesn't impact the other person, generally speaking, ever. You're just banging your head and end up with brick prints on your forehead. That doesn't help anybody. So in this book, this is a really good book, Women, Food, and God by Janine Roth. I've read it more than once. There's lots of tabs on it. But the part that I flipped open to this morning that is significant, I think, for the work we've been doing every day, is she talks about how there are 3 journeys of the spiritual path. And this comes from Sufism, S-U-F-I-ism, Sufi religion. 3 journeys of the spiritual path. The journey from God, the journey to God, and the journey in God. And what we've been talking about is that last part of being the journey in God, of getting through life inside that connection to source, inside that connection to love. So in the Sufi version, the journey from God is the one in which you think you are what you do, you think you are what you weigh, what you achieve, and so you spend your time attempting to adorn yourself with external measures of worth. A thin body, a big bank account, cool patent leather boots. But since even thin, rich, and famous people get old, have cellulite, and die, the journey from God ends in disappointment 100% of the time. So if that's all you're after is material achievements and that's your whole goal, you're going to be disappointed 100% of the time. It's absolutely not satisfying. Yeah. So in the food version of this, she talks about the journey from yourself. You spend years, sometimes a whole life, of dieting, fasting, binging, exercising, then laying on the couch because you refuse to do one more sit-up or downward facing dog. And during this stage, your main goal is to fixing yourself, since the relationship with food is a microcosm of your relationship with the rest of your life. So your relationship with food is indicative of what your relationship is with connection to source. So that can be tricky if you think about that one. Any attempts to change the food part, the way you engage with food, without also engaging in the beliefs it represents, ends in a disappointment 100% of the time. So according to the Sufis, the next journey, the journey to God, is also disappointing. You try to stop the endless stream of thoughts and they keep playing their crazy tunes. You decide you're going to stomp out judgment, evil, anger, hatred, and you find yourself wishing your next door neighbor would accidentally slip on a banana peel and die. That's the aggressive part of us. You find a spiritual guide who seems to be the embodiment of wisdom and purity and ends up sleeping with 16 of his flock. In the food world, this journey to yourself is equally frustrating. You stop dieting. You begin eating what your body wants. You realize your eating isn't about lack of willpower, but lack of understanding. You don't want to let go of the weight or the drama that surrounds it. You've spent your life agonizing about your weight, and now, when the end is in sight, you run the other way. So you go from, these are both points of controlling. The journey from God, the journey to God, are both attempts to control externals without understanding of what that really means. And the third journey, the one that we talk about here every day, is the journey in God. And it's the same for both spiritual and food-related spiritual aspects. In this journey, you stop searching for more and better. More and better. We want more of this. We have what we have, and we want better than what we have. We want more. We want what the neighbors have. We want what the movie stars have. We stop that. You no longer live as if this life is a dress rehearsal for something else. Authenticity, not trying to be good, begins to infuse your actions. So you just stop it. You knock it off. You start being who you are without constantly censoring how is so-and-so going to react to what I say next. How are the girls at the health club going to react if I'm not wearing the right clothes or if I don't have the right body? How is my husband going to react if I decide not to take a shower for a week? That'd be kind of gross. And he probably would be justified in having a reaction to that. But you know what I mean? Like, you just be who you are. You just act consistently with who you are inside and who this body is. Who you are outside becomes consistent. Through daily practices, you slowly realize and grateful for the present moment. Yes, because you don't fight it. You recognize that if something uncomfortable is happening, it's because you've lost your mindset. You've lost your mind. You are focusing on a fear-based reaction rather than love and power authentic power. If you're in discomfort, you start to recognize that you're just out of alignment. You pull yourself back into alignment, and off you go. That's living in connection to spirit. You realize that you're already whole. There is no test to pass. There is no race to finish. There's nothing to achieve out there. Out there is cotton candy. It's completely unsatisfying at the end of the day. Even pain becomes another doorway, another chance to recognize where love appears to be absent. So, I mean, to bring us back full circle, that's what today is talking about. That's what the text says in so many complicated words that it took me like an hour to figure it out and to find some practical reference to help us understand it. There is no miracle you cannot have when you desire healing. But there is no miracle that can be given to you unless you want it and ask for it. Is that making sense? Like, you can't shift your reality until you shift your mind, which then shifts your energy so that the outer world then reflects a more peaceful manifestations, because out here reflects in here, as above, so below. As inside, so without outside. It's all the same. It's a mirror. About pain. Pain becomes a doorway. Oh, thank you. I'm glad it's making sense. Pain becomes a doorway. So, pain isn't, when you're working on a daily basis to live in alignment with source and spirit and live that connected life, when you are in pain, it's an invitation, and you recognize it as an invitation. You recognize it as a like a road sign. You recognize that if you're in emotional pain or even physical pain, it's an indicator, it's a red flag, it's an attention-getting signal that, hey, you're off center. If you're hurting, you have told yourself a lie and you've believed it. If someone leaves you, so say you're in a love relationship, a romantic relationship, and that person leaves you, we tend to tell ourselves a lot of lies about that. We tend to tell ourselves, I'm never going to find anybody else. My heart is broken. I'm never going to love again. And it's so incredibly painful, because we forget that we're whole right now. The other person doesn't make us whole. The other person leaving doesn't cause us pain. Our stories about the other person leaving cause us pain. And the bigger our story, the more it hurts. So pain is a doorway back to center. If you're hurting a lot, the first thing you can do is take a deep breath, acknowledge that you're hurting, let yourself know that that's okay that you're hurting, and reach for the miracle by saying, how can I see this differently? How can I see this person leaving as a miracle? And it sure as hell doesn't feel like a miracle in the moment, right? It feels pretty freaking painful when we lose an important relationship. But we don't have to tell ourselves stories about what that means that aren't true, because the truth is, in every moment, you are a powerful being. You have control over what's happening inside of you. You're the storyteller. So if you're telling your brain stories and causing yourself pain, the joy of recognizing that is that since you're the storyteller, you get to change the story. You get to say, I don't fully understand yet why this person left me. I feel like I was doing okay. I feel like we were having a good relationship. I don't know why they left, and it hurts. And I'm going to allow that hurt. At the same time, I'm not going to tell myself false stories about what it means. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that you did something wrong. All it means is that person left. That person died. That person cheated on the marriage. That person went out and got drunk when they're supposed to be sober. So you stop at the fact. You put a period at the end of the fact. The fact is that person left. Period. You don't continue that storyline of he left me and that means I'm a piece of crap. He left me and that means I did something wrong. It's that second part that's the story. And it's that second story that hurts so much. And we do it to ourselves. And we have control over it. So that's what this is talking about. You can have that miracle shift of perception anytime you want it. You just have to want it. You have to be willing to set your story aside. You have to be willing to come to the place of understanding that you're not a victim and you never were. We feel like victims, but we are not. And that's how pain is your doorway. Pain is your red flag. You have physical pain, but I love looking at it in that way. You're in pain, period. So an example I heard is a woman who was saying to, I believe it was Esther Hicks, and she was very much in the victim mindset. And please don't judge yourself if you find yourself in those off-kilter places. It's just getting off kilter and coming back to center, and getting off kilter and coming back to center. There's no room for judgment in that if you don't allow it. But sometimes nothing changes, but you feel better, and that's enough. And feeling better will, over time, allow those changes, material changes, to happen. So this woman was saying, I can't do this because my hips, she had like super bad arthritis in her hips, like crippling arthritis. And she was saying to them, I can't do these things because the pain in my hips overwhelms my thoughts and I can't change them. And she was trying to get across to the woman that you can have a level 10 pain and feel hopeful. Or you can have a level 10 pain and feel victimized and powerless. You can't change the pain in that moment. If you have a medical condition that causes you physical pain, maybe it's going to change, maybe it's not going to change, but the miracle is you can change how you see it. You can change how you respond to it. You can fight against the pain, or you can say, I have physical pain, just like you said. I have physical pain, period. It doesn't stop me from, it may limit your activities, but it doesn't stop how you feel. So you can tell yourself a victim story about it, or you can tell yourself a power story about it. So you can say, oh my God, this pain is killing me, I can't take it. Or you can say, oh my God, I'm feeling this pain and it's making me stronger. Oh my God, I'm feeling this pain and I'm going to find other people who feel this pain and help share their burden. We can share each other's burdens. I'm going to find a way to tell myself a different story about my physical pain, and then when I have that, I'm going to share that with other people and help them change their story. And we lift each other up. So yeah, it's physical pain, it's emotional pain. Pain is a road sign that there's something to do. Side note, would like to know how you're sending the heart clusters. You just tap the screen really fast. If you go like a video game. Sometimes I'll put my fingers on the screen and just do this like that. If you are tapping like that, like you're impatient, it'll go and send that heart shower. And thank you for that, you guys. The mix of colors today is really beautiful. Yeah, a nice green, purple, turquoise. Very nice. Thank you. So, that was kind of a long way to get to the explanation of what today's reading is. Rheumatoid arthritis. You say those negative things, can't, don't try out of fear. Oh, you're so welcome. No, there's no secret, Michelle. It's just a super fast tap. Pretend you're playing a video game. I think I have blessings on your head for having to deal with rheumatoid arthritis in the first place. I have a little bit of arthritis, and just that little bit of pain sometimes challenges me. So I'm guessing that you have some enormous strength to be even thinking about how to handle that level of pain. That's no joke. RA is definitely no joke. So, I'm going to read that again. In the third journey, the journey in God, you end searching for more and better. What you're really doing is you're ending storytelling. You're ending telling yourself lies. You no longer live life as if it's a dress rehearsal. You stop trying to be good. You just are authentic. You're just yourself. Without the stories. You just are who you are. So even something as simple as going to the grocery store and getting a dirty look from somebody, it's okay. That's them. That's not you. Thank you. Thank you. Daily practices of meditation and inquiry. Inquiry is the questioning of what story you're telling yourself. You realize that you're already whole. There's no test to pass. There's no race to finish. You never finish this. If you're alive and hearing me talk and breathing in and out, you're not finished, and you won't ever be finished, because even in death, you're going on to something else. My personal belief. Even pain becomes another doorway, another chance to recognize where love appears to be absent. Love is never absent. It's always there. You just have to want to see it. Okay. Got it? Yay. So, I forgot to put up my website information. I'm Michelle Wolf now, 30 minutes later. My website is Caddyshack Designs. There are tabs across the top of everything that I do. I'm a coach, artist, Reiki master, whatever. CaddyshackDesigns.com. Thank you. As always, thank you for being here every morning. Meditation and inquiry. You are already whole. It was a tough lesson today. Man, I tell you what, if you look up the text, just again, that it was chapter 30 of the Course in Miracles text, section 8, verse 4, just read section 8. It is like, oh my gosh, I read it probably 4 times, was like, I went from, I don't know what the hell she's talking about, to, oh, okay, I get it. Now let me see if I can translate it for everybody this morning to make useful application of it. So, next time you're in traffic, next time you're in pain, next time you're overeating, next time you're drinking too much, next time you're caught, you catch yourself hating on somebody, ask to see it differently. Ask for that miracle to come back to love. That's all you have to do. Just ask. Bring me back to love, please. I've gotten off kilter. I'm hating on somebody. Bring me back to love, please. Super simple. Oh, a light bulb. That's cute. Super simple. Oh, your bad connection. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to leave my book out today because I had a hard time comprehending it. Usually for me, this stuff is pretty easy for me to read and then translate it into something that makes, practical use of it. That's just something that comes a little easy for me. But because I had such a hard time comprehending it this morning, I feel like there's probably something deeper that I need too. So I'm going to leave my book out, and maybe I'll listen to my own replay. I usually don't because it makes me feel weird. But I might today because I feel like there's more to the story here for me too. So just let it sink in. There was a lot today. I feel like we've had like a heavy week. Like we've done some intense talking and some intense, deep concepts this week. I feel like it's been extra, heavy's the wrong word, but maybe just intense. So, there you go. Happy Sunday. Enjoy reaching for your miracle. There's no miracle you cannot have when you desire healing, and there is no miracle that can be given to you unless you want it. Yeah. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for making this an easier process for me, too. I appreciate the hearts and the shares, and I love our little group here. So you are welcome. Letitia, you're welcome. Everybody, Michelle, Mom, Tanya, everyone who's on here still, thank you. And I will see you again tomorrow for this. And then tomorrow afternoon, we'll be talking about a Young Living essential oil that goes along with these spiritual practices. You're welcome. Have a wonderful day. Find something to love on. Love on yourself. Give yourself some lovies today. Okay, see you later.